Good dawning to thee, friends, and welcome to episode 10A of Sonnet Sisters. My name's Jennifer, and in this episode I'm going to be doing a blind reading of sonnet number 10. Hopefully there won't be any typos in this, but we will find out. Sonnet number 10. For shame, deny that thou bear'st love to any, who for thyself art so unprovident. Grant, if thou wilt, thou art beloved of many, but that thou none lovest is most evident. For thou art so possessed with murderous hate, that 'gainst thyself thou stickest not to conspire, seeking that beauteous roof to ruinate, which to repair should be thy chief desire. O change thy thought, that I may change my mind. Shall hate be fairer lodged than gentle love? Be, as thy presence is, gracious and kind, or to thyself at least kind-hearted prove. Make thee an other self for love of me, that beauty still may live in thine or thee. Alright, so I know I've been saying that quite a lot of the other ones had a harsh tone to them, but this one, I mean, flippin' heck. For thou art so possessed with murderous hate. I think this probably refers back to sonnet number 9, which has murderous in its last line, so the last couplet for number 9, with Anna last week. No love towards others in that bosom sits, that on himself such murderous shame commits. This is a procreation sonnet. If you haven't watched the rest of the series so far, the first 17 sonnets are within a group that's called the procreation sonnets, convincing someone to get married and have children. I was really shocked by that word. You probably noticed as I was reading my eyebrows raised, because I thought, flippin' heck, murderous. Feels like he's getting really fed up of writing these sonnets and not getting a good response. So he's gone for a really harsh approach in this. Okay, what I'm going to do is just have a look through this and write down line by line what I think each line reads, what I think each line means. And then I'll get back to you and see what my first reading says. But yeah, that's my initial response to this is I'm just shocked at how harsh it is, calling this person hateful and murderous, and claiming that not wanting to have children is a hateful idea. Makes him a hateful, terrible person. Alright, well, let's see what I think. I'm going to dive in and find out. Okay, so I've just spent about 5 minutes going through line by line, writing down what I think it means at this stage. I kind of get the general sense of it, but the specifics are quite difficult. And even with the general sense is quite tough. So this is what I've got. Shame on you. Try and tell me that it's not true that you don't love anyone. Or that you don't love anyone who's not of use to you. I'm not sure about that because I'm not sure about the word unprovident. I feel like provident is something to do with like gaining something back. So it feels like saying, yeah, shame on you. Try and tell me that you don't love anyone who doesn't have a use to you or can't do something for you. Accept, or it might be I accept, if you will, that you are loved by lots of people, but it's very clear that you don't love anyone. You are so taken over with murderous hate. My suspicion with that line is that it's saying if you don't want to have kids, it's like killing yourself because no version of yourself can live on. Just going from the past 9 sonnets, that idea has been coming through. So, but it's quite a twist to then say, oh, you'll kill yourself and you won't live on. To then saying murderous hate. It's not just saying that you'll kill yourself in a metaphor, like, or you're murdering yourself, but to say that you're taken over with murderous hate is such a harsh line. I'm not sure about this line. So you're so taken over with murderous hate that you continue to act against yourself. I'm not sure about that because it says that 'gainst thyself thou stickst not to conspire. Thou stickst not to conspire, which word by word says that against yourself you are sticking with the idea not to conspire against yourself, unless it means not to conspire to have kids, but conspire is usually a negative word. That's going to take a bit more digging in the analysis to work that out. Seeking that beauteous roof to ruinate. Now, I'm not sure about ruinate. I'm not certain what that word means. Seeking that beauteous roof. Looking for beauty in yourself. So a roof as in, I was thinking a roof over your head, something that gives you safety. So it's like feeling comfort in his own beauty. So the only place that you're looking for any validity or any goodness is looking at your own reflection, because that sort of gives you a sense of safety knowing that you look good. And I'm not sure. That's a huge personal interpretation of that line, and I'm not sure it's right at all. But that beauty is the thing that you should be trying to repair and look after and keep safe, which won't happen if you don't have kids, because your beauty will die with you. So yeah, you should be concerned about your beauty in a different way. Instead of being obsessed with it, you should be concerned about repairing it, looking after it. So change your mind on this subject so that I change my mind about you. How judgmental is that? That is awful. Change your mind on this about having kids so that I change my mind about you, and don't think that you're a murderous, hateful person. Is hate going to be the thing that's like lodged and stuck inside of you instead of love? Be gracious and kind, like you generally seem to be in life. You generally seem to be a generous and kind person, just not on this subject. Or at least be kind to yourself. If you're not doing it for anyone else, you're sick of me telling you to have kids, at least do it for your own sake. Be kind to yourself on this. Make another version of you for my sake. It's got to do with you. Make another version of you for my sake, so that beauty lives on in that other self that you have, as well as living in you. Again, I'm not sure about that line. That beauty still may live in thine or thee. In thine or thee. I'm assuming thine is in thine other self that I've made, as well as in thee, I think. Yeah, it's basically huge guilt and shaming and name calling and trying to make this subject feel like a bad person for not having kids. Not just a bad person like, oh, society says you should have kids and you're not doing it, but I mean really a terrible human who almost implies, you should go to hell or you should go to prison. Like it's really piling on that this one idea of not having kids makes you terrible. Yeah. So shame on you. Everyone loves you, but you don't love anybody. You're murderous and hateful. Come on, have a kid for my sake so that I don't think so awfully of you. Maybe you'll change my mind about you. And be nice to yourself so that hate isn't the thing that governs you. Have a kid for my sake so that your beauty lives on. This is terrible. I would be so angry if someone said this to me. It's so judgmental. The other ones have kind of been judgmental, but they've been more persuasive. This is really just like, you're wrong. Sort it out. I don't like you anymore. I think you're awful. What are you going to do about it to change my mind? Well, anyway, I'll dive in more to the words and phrases of this and the syntax and whatever that I didn't understand on Wednesday, so join me then for what is probably going to be a super fun analysis session, given how I've just reacted to this, and we'll have a look through it. So that will be episode 10b, released on Wednesday, when I'll look a little bit deeper into this sonnet. And for now, see you anon.
What was he on about? That body, mister, come figure